Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have, again, Alex Upatov.
Good morning, vetting. It's a callback to me talking about Robin Williams last time you heard me.
Good morning, vetting. Yeah, good callback, good callback.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang myself 20 years from now.
Jesus. Just make sure we're not living together when you do that. I can't have someone else hang themselves.
Well, trust me, if we two are living together 20 years from now, both of us are gonna hang themselves.
Oh my God. Yes.
Can you imagine we're just 55? Like, now we are screaming at the neighbors because they're too loud.
Right. Oh my God. But that shower attachment is not strong enough to hold our weight. Like, I don't rate that. That's not the way to go. It's usually in the bathroom, right? Like my ex-boyfriend who committed suicide.
No, come on, we have high beds here.
Oh, the hock bed.
Yeah, it's so easy to put a rope around that.
Right?
I definitely never thought about this before.
You definitely never thought. We're so convinced, Alex.
Yeah, but they're not very high though. Like you'd have to be on your knees.
Or it'd have to be a really short end. Like you'd have to wrap the rope around the bed and then have like only maybe 20 centimeters from the hock bed, so that because we're both short. Right? Yeah. We're both relatively short.
Yeah, but we're not like that short. You know.
But if our necks were right up there.
Because the way you hang yourself, like the asphyxiation part is just that's hard.
That's the fun, right?
But that's hard. Like that's like the Epstein way to go. You know, like because usually the way you hang yourself is just that you drop far enough that it just breaks your neck.
Yeah. We'll be doing the asphyxiation style here then. Okay.
I couldn't. Like,
you couldn't?
Yeah. For some reason, like the only way to die that doesn't seem pleasurable to me is like asphyxiation or drowning. Like every other way, I think could be a fun experience, but those because also they're so hard to so easy to fuck up. You think you're never gonna do it, even though you're 90% done, and then you stop. Like, how disappointing is that?
So disappointing. That's the thing. Like, if you do commit suicide, you really don't want to survive it.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know.
I mean, or you do. That depends again. Did you ever listen to the WTF episode of Todd Hanson?
Mm-mm.
He's like the head writer for The Onion.
Yeah.
Which it's a two-part episode, and the first part is just about The Onion, and it's fucking hilarious. Like it's one of the funniest podcasts ever. And the second part is just him going through a suicide attempt that just didn't come to
his
fruition.
own. Or?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And they're like just by chance they're in a hotel room that just looks exactly like the hotel room where he did it.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So
perfect.
Yeah, it's an amazing episode.
How did he try?
Pills and alcohol.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All the people that I know that have done pills and alcohol, they go into a coma, best case, and then they wake up.
Yeah,
like worst case.
And he said like he
damaged.
Found like 6 would kill you, 6 of the pills. So he had like 60 with a bottle of gin.
Yeah,
and still just woke up drowsy.
Exactly. Like the other ex that I had, he took like 90 of these extreme painkillers that my brother had for his back. Tramadol. Do you know Tramadol? It's like a few tiers below morphine.
Yeah.
And we used to party on them, actually. They're good party drugs. Make you a bit nauseous, but like you feel pretty high when you're taking Tramadol. And he took 90 of these pills and drank a whole bottle of whiskey, and like it didn't do it, you know. So what's your method? What's your suicide method?
My preferred one would probably, just because I think it would be like visually the most amazing, was like jumping off a skyscraper.
Yeah, that's where my brain just went. It's like that would be.
Yeah, because like you have the whole rush, you have the whole hopefully children finding you.
Hopefully children, you get a view, you get a good view on your way, and you fly for the first and last time in your life. Like I agree. I think jumping off a building would probably be the nicest way to go.
Yeah. It's also you can't fuck that up, you know. Like the only way you can is if you don't find a building high enough. But come on, like you only die once. Just find a building, you know.
Just do it right. Like don't be jumping off a 5-story building.
Yeah,
like,
save up some money, go to like Manhattan, you know, find like a classy one, like an Empire State or something.
And don't jump into water either. Like in
Australia, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just like you're not even trying. Come on.
Yeah, it's like what you're trying to combine drowning and jumping.
You don't want to die. You want just another point on the old CV. That's what you want.
You want to survive if you're doing that.
You just want to be interesting.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Fuck. there's a big bridge in Melbourne, and it's like one of the suicide hotspots in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And yeah, people just survive too often. You know, why jump into any kind of body of water? Same with San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
People jump off the Golden Gate. I don't
Although,
get it.
like, I have one other one. Like, I don't think I would try and kill myself this way, but for some reason, like, I had this thing for a while where whenever I was too stressed, that was before I found out how you actually deal with stress, like by breathing, meditation, and like working out, yoga, shit like that. But when I had extreme stress, I just like visualized me shooting myself in the head.
Yeah.
And every time I did it, like the stress just fell down. So I just like, oh fuck, I'm stressed. Just like imagining shooting myself in the head 10 times, and it just went away.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's something about like just the thinking about just friends.
If we had guns, for sure, like that would be the way.
You can get a gun. Like we do live in Wedding. Like,
thanks, Alex.
Thanks. You live with a Russian. It's not like,
enable me.
Yeah, it's not like I don't know people with guns.
Yeah, I think shooting yourself in the head. I think that would actually be number one. You know, that definitely is number one.
But then it goes wrong all the time too.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
All the time.
All the time? Just because there's such high numbers of it, I guess. Because there's so many.
Because like the gun goes somewhere else. Like you're not trained how to shoot correctly.
Yeah, true.
And even if you like hit your head, like you might just not like just have a hole in your head for the rest of your life. You can shoot through your brain, like you don't use most of your brain.
Yeah, there's like what was it? The young woman in Afghanistan who was shot in the head and she survived.
Yeah.
What's her name? Malala.
Yeah, you don't want to just Malala yourself.
You don't want to Malala yourself. I love how talking actually, like, really, no fear talking out how you would commit suicide does actually make you go, you know what, it's a bit too hard, really. Like, I'd prefer to maybe keep living for the next moment of joy. Like, I don't want all these complications. Like, it doesn't matter how hard stuff gets. It's like, well, if I keep living, I might feel joy again. But if I fucking do that could just make everything so much worse. It's like...
Also, if you're talking about it, you're pretty much the furthest away from ever doing it.
Yeah.
Even if you're thinking about it, you're the furthest away from ever. You're still very far away from ever doing it. Like apparently, the way like where it's dangerous is if you like hide it from yourself. Like if you like if you lie to yourself, like you would never do it. Like
that's when you're okay. That
so you're kind of just plotting against yourself subconsciously, and that's where it happens.
Well, that's why secrets are so toxic and dangerous. It's like if you're not looking at something, then it's just going to grow bigger and bigger, maybe, and take over you in some ways. Yeah, like the first ever funeral I went to was for a family friend, the father of my mum's best friend back in the day, and he did the gassing himself in the car.
But that's just like I don't even like cars, like.
I don't even like cars. Alex says no to gassing in the car. He doesn't even like cars. Wow, that's a great critique. Great. It's just because you don't like cars.
As much as I love huffing stuff that makes you high, like I don't want to be seen anywhere near a car when I'm dead. Like
interesting. Well, yeah, I was like, oh, that seems like a nice, like it's a piece. If you like cars, I guess, and you like your garage,
but it's such a dad way to kill yourself.
It's such a dad way.
Like,
yeah.
Literally leave me alone in my car.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to be
I don't want to be anymore. I don't want to be sober. I want to be in my car. I want to be alone. And I want this to be the end.
Yeah. You're just like hardboxing your way out. Like, what the fuck is this? It's like the most limp-dick way to die.
Wow. It is a limp-dick way to go. But it makes a lot of sense. Like that generation.
If you already paid off the car, just fuck you. Just go. But it's go kill yourself a better way.
Pre-boomer. Like what's the derogatory term for the generation that were pre-boomer? Like
the golden generation.
The golden. Okay, well, yeah.
The
pedo generation.
The greatest, I think the greatest generation. In Germany, it's the golden one because of the Wirtschaftsboom, I think.
I don't think Australians talk about. Yeah, but anyway, he was like a farmer. But then the second person that I
in Australian, it's of course the shame on them generation.
Yeah, exactly. It's they were all the ones that kind of had something to do with World War II or at least Vietnam. Or the Korean War, whatever.
Yeah, you had another thing going on, I think, around that time.
Another thing? What am I forgetting?
The whole stolen generation.
Oh yeah,
thing.
there's that too. That's that too.
Yeah, that seems like a biggie from the outside.
Yeah. Although, no, like, that was just more like I'm not reducing it. Like, that's definitely what was happening.
Your voice
But in
tone
terms of-
sounded very differently.
In terms of, I was
Like
like,
you're not even Australian. You're
I was ashamed that I didn't acknowledge it. That's what was happening there. I was yeah, it's true. I was thinking more, internationally, geopolitically, like what was happening and what kind of like, worldwide understood trauma. But I guess
you always project first, but you have to go on the inside.
Okay, Alex. But not everyone was so involved with the genocide of the indigenous people, I guess. But there was
not everyone was so involved with the Holocaust.
It's true. It's true. However,
it's not like it was everybody's favorite thing. We're people pretty mildly.
The thing is with the like genocide and total sort of discrimination and oppression of the indigenous people of Australia, it didn't culminate in one 10-year victory of efficiency and massacre. Like, it was just sort of constant.
So it was
constant
sloppy on top of
it. Was sloppy. It was sloppy. It was disorganized.
It wasn't
was
even
like,
well done.
shoot a couple when you got a free moment, all right? Do your bit for the white people, okay? It was more like that, and so it wasn't like...
It was more like a man-aside,
It was more a man-aside, yeah. It's just like one a week, let's keep it easy. Don't stress yourselves. We gotta pioneer these lands. We gotta grow crops. We gotta get our foxes in here and get rid of those weird kangaroo. Like, it was just this constant, like, from 1776 through till indigenous people got the vote in like 1976. It was just like that's like 200 years where of like casual manocide. So yeah, I wouldn't say that generation of the pre-boomers, like the generation that gave birth to the boomers, I don't think they were necessarily the masters of indigenous genocide, but they were just like connected to the world wars. And for Australia, that it's a bit special. I think for everywhere that's a bit special, I guess. But anyway,
but wasn't the stolen generation like one particular event?
No, man, that was like years and years of that was the procedure that basically any indigenous, like any children born within indigenous communities was taken and taken to like white school, like oh Jesus, I don't have the vocabulary for this at all, but like would take them basically and educate them and integrate them into white society. Yeah. And so and they would just like
I just thought it was
around.
like a constant like a certain period of time where they just took all the children or something.
Look, definitely it would fall within a certain period, but it was like I'm pretty sure I should do some research into it, but I'm pretty sure it was like quite a long like a very solid period of time, just systematic. Like that was what was done. It was like, oh, they don't know how to rear children. They don't have houses. They don't know, like they walk from place to place. They eat food by putting it in the ground and with like they don't understand civilization. And so it was just this long-term practice.
Meanwhile, all the white people are just like prisoners from England.
There were also the pastoral people. There were lots of religious folk that came out because they were getting persecuted. Nobody outside of
Australia ever heard of that. Like to us, it's all like just a bunch of like drunk rascals.
And yes, but I think also the Puritans, the religious types were also, but like a lot of the religious types left the UK because they were getting persecuted as well, right? They didn't have the freedom to practice. The UK was just so overwhelmed, or England was so overwhelmed with, I don't know, like they just had money problems or whatever. Like, I don't know, they were just imprisoning everybody, ran out of space. But then also there were like all these religious people and they're like, oh, we want freedom too. So they also started, taking the boats over to Australia.
Yeah.
And
the way you say persecuted, it sounds like there's a guy named Percy who thinks you're cute. I don't know why. There's something about your pronunciation.
Well, no, Percy's cute. That's how that word works. Persecuted. But okay, so anyway, that was the first person I knew who died. The very first person who I knew who died, whose funeral I went to, car gassed himself. And then the next person who I knew that died was a really happy, well-adjusted friend in high school. She just finished her paramedics degree. Had a boyfriend, super supportive family, seemed really good. And I think this is why I bring it up, because it ties into your comment about people who don't talk about suicide or ever acknowledge that they would are the ones that do it. Because, yeah, she basically graduated from a degree and then hanged herself in the bathroom. Like,
Yeah, that's this like a classic thing. Yeah.
yeah. I say hanged, just to clarify. Hanged is the correct past participle of the verb hang when you were killing yourself. We hung out, but he hanged himself. But no one gives a shit about English anymore.
That's such a bad party.
It's such a bad party.
Everybody hung out. It's just one guy had to fucking hang himself.
One guy hanged himself. Everyone else hung out. I don't know why you had to.
Like at the funeral, it's like, well, he never understood words.
Yeah. It was a past participle problem, really.
Yeah. Verbs were not his strongest suit.
We said we wanted to hang out. He did it wrong. Oh man. Yeah. And then the last few people that I know have done the same fucking thing, man. Like they like to hang themselves. I don't know anyone who's there's some other. Okay, we're really just doing a suicide episode. The other really intense suicide
Speak
that I
for
know
yourself.
of. What do you mean? That it's intense or horrible, or that it's a suicide episode?
I don't know. To me, it's a mental health episode.
Okay, all right, mental health. I like that. The suicide that kind of freaked me out the most was my very first boyfriend who tried to commit suicide. But he had a best friend in high school, and he killed himself by lying down on train tracks and being decapitated.
Yeah.
That's a nasty. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, I get like in the countryside, there's no like barriers, and it was just a place where you could, he literally just lay down on the tracks.
No, you can go to the train track everywhere. Like
Yeah.
the barriers to train tracks are not like.
No, true, but like in terms of it being, I always think I don't really, and that's the one thing that goes against the jumping off a building thing, with line on train tracks. It's like with a lot of inner city. So I'm just too inner city, right? Like if I see a train station, I'm like, if I lay down on those tracks, I would be traumatizing so many people, so many people.
We live by Westhafen. It's literally a 5-minute walk if you want to kill yourself by lying down on train tracks.
Yeah, but there's too many people around. Like it's a little bit
not
still.
not at night if you take because there's also where it's not just the ring bar. We have like the ICE passing through.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have the big trains coming through, and actually at night you'd probably traumatize the driver a little bit less too because he might not see you on the tracks ahead of him. Yeah, that's true.
But even tram drivers kill like on average, I think like 10 to 12 people during their career. That's like trams, so imagine trains.
But trams are trickier. Like I think people usually get almost hit by a tram more than they get almost hit by a train, right? Like just because the trams are on the streets and like there's no barriers around them. It's far less regulated, so that makes more sense, I guess. But yeah, like there's full trauma training for. Like it's a regular thing, right?
Yeah, tram trauma training.
Tram trauma training.
TTT, tram trauma training.
TTT. I'm doing I've had trauma training when I worked at an insurance company when the bushfires were happening in Australia, and like we had people calling up, being like, I think I should lodge a claim for my house insurance because all my family just died. I was like, oh, okay, let's.
Just start laughing on the phone. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's why we had to get trauma training because you don't know what to do. It's like, this is a lot. This is a lot. And like people would be calling up thinking that, okay, I should probably do something about my insurance policy, but they wouldn't, they didn't know how to do anything because they were completely shell-shocked from losing all of their possessions and like half their family and not knowing where their dog was and maybe being
That's the worst part.
I know, right? The dog. It's the dog.
It's not even dead. It's just out.
Oh, man.
Where's Fifi?
But do you know anybody who did like more, I'd say they're a little bit more creative or a little, just a little bit more left field suicides. I think the train one's kind of, it really leaves a picture in your mind, like being decapitated.
Yeah,
you can see the head
I just know
rolling.
people who attempted. I don't know anybody personally who like went all the way.
So you only know losers.
Yeah. Let's face it, mostly women.
Look, the survival instinct is strong. We wanna use our womb,
Yeah, the women have like that's just like statistics I know from George Carlin bits, I think. But women have like a way higher attempt rate, but men have a higher success rate.
Interesting. I wonder how you could apply that to other things.
Yeah. Well, George Carlin joke is like, well, that's another thing that men are just better at. Like, so,
Yeah.
So if you want equality, you need to start taking your lives in greater numbers, ladies.
Yeah, I think it could also apply to orgasms, right?
Yeah.
We attempt more, but men succeed more. Fuck. Okay, speaking of orgasms, right?
In fact, that actually applies exactly to orgasms.
Right?
Yeah, because women can also like if you hit the first one, you can have like multiple afterwards, so you do attempt more.
Yeah.
But men fucking every time,
Every-
like on the clock.
Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there are some guys that, no, it's not that easy for me, but like,
Yeah,
still easier than
whatever,
women.
Go talk to your mom.
Say that again?
Whatever, go talk to your mom.
Right. Just like use some lube for that tight foreskin. You're gonna get there. It's fine. Yeah. So like, okay.
Use some lube for the tight foreskin. What is it? You're fucking a guy in his 60s? Where's the foreskins?
Foreskins are around. Like all the guys who I know who don't, and who I only know through them talking to me about this. I haven't actually experienced one in my bed. Actually, maybe like one guy last year. But usually, yeah, guys who say they have problems coming usually have like quite tight foreskin issue, and so they can't really. They find it hard to come inside a woman, like they like whilst fucking someone, and they usually need to do it themselves because there's like
so in those Amish communities that they live in, like they just cannot, they do not have access to circumcision.
Yeah, all of my Amish friends, that's their complaint. They're like, they won't let me snip it off. But
I just love like this turn from suicide to foreskin shaming.
Foreskin shaming. There is some foreskin shaming. Like I feel like women in the States are always surprised when they meet a foreskin. Like are there that many more like Jews and Muslims in the States than like in Australia? Like foreskins are the standard.
It's now no Jews and Muslims in Russia, and still like most are circumcised just because it feels nicer.
Yeah. At what point do they usually do circumcisions in Russia? Like, is it baby?
As kids, yeah.
As kids?
Yeah.
Really?
Like I think I was circumcised when I was like 6.
Yeah.
5, 6.
5, 6. Interesting. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
No, it's just you go to a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they put you under, and then you wake up, and then that's it.
And then you've got like a couple of weeks of healing to do, right?
It's very quick if you're a kid, I think. So maybe 2 days. Like if you're like one friend of mine got it like later because he finally escaped Arizona.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he got it when he was like 28, and it took like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know guys.
It's more dangerous then.
Yeah. I know the guys that I know that have. I know a few guys that have had circumcisions later, because of this tightness problem. Yeah, or just like ripping or something.
Yeah.
Or hygiene. Yeah. There's also that. I know a couple of guys, and then it was like a whole week of recovery, and then this whole like. You know, because they're older, they need to go through some kind of emotional fucking healing process because they lost a piece of their dick. And like they develop this, weird sense. Weird. Yeah, I'm judging you guys. I'm judging you. This weird sensitivity to their penises. They're like, oh yeah, well I went through this trauma when I got circumcised 2 years ago. And and like they have to do this. Yeah, whereas I think if you're a kid, you don't have some kind of emotional thing. There's no trauma.
Yeah.
Just a thing that you did when you were a kid.
Yeah, I don't have emotions with foreskins. I just think it's funny that people still have them.
I don't know. Yeah, they say that if you have a foreskin, then you're more sensitive. Yeah, then the tip of your penis is more sensitive.
Yeah, we do need men to come earlier. They're right. There's one problem with men is that they are not sensitive enough with their dicks.
With their penises. Yeah, I don't know, actually. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think necessarily there's a correlation between guys with foreskins coming earlier and guys without coming later.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
I think it's more
rule.
of like a diet and mental and general sexual connection.
Yeah, I think that's actually it. That's actually it. I'm starting to wonder if alcohol. Okay, so I've been drinking, and so I'm wondering. So okay, all right. I have noticed.
Yeah, we're sitting here in front of an empty bottle of whiskey. Anna's completely shit-faced right now, just so you know.
I'm just holding it together.
I just came back from the lake. I was swimming. I did yoga. Like Anna is adapting to the wedding lifestyle horribly.
I still have a few teeth left, okay? It's not all bad.
It's not the good ones.
They're the chewers. They're the chewers. I can still get my food down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed like in the last
Which is what she calls whiskey now.
food.
Yeah.
But I've
barley and what the other thing is that you make whiskey of? Barley and grain.
just grains. We do have a Talisker glass on the table, that's for sure. One of the ones that like has a round bottom.
You have a Talisker glass.
I do, exactly. You have a Buddhist bell in front of you. That's and Buddha.
And a tall glass of water.
And a tall glass of water. Yeah, fuck you, Alex. I've become you now. That's what's happened. I've moved to Wedding and I've
literally moved into my old room.
I am Alex.
Yeah. Wait, I'm becoming Erica. I'm doing yoga and doing sport and meditating.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, I'm gonna. Okay, so I've been drinking now for like 2 weeks and like, casually, like kind of casual drinking, a couple of like bigger nights and then a few like smaller ones. But I've noticed a direct correlation between the alcohol consumption and the efficiency with which I can orgasm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like I think I'm blaming alcohol for it. I think it's blocking me. And
it's numbing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it can work in both directions. Like it can loosen you up, so you can kind of come easier. But if you're, I'd say especially with like hard liquor, like 5 drinks in, you're just number, so it's harder.
Yeah, well, I'm not drinking hard liquor. I'm really like I was just doing a few gins occasionally on special occasions, and now it's like beers with the boys, and it's maybe like 4 beers or max 4 beers. And I just feel like, I'm not able to, like, I think it's a focus thing as well. It's like there's a certain level of numbness, but it's also, if you're drinking, there's a distraction in your ability to pay attention to something a bit.
Did you have sex without drinking?
I haven't had sex without drinking in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well, I guess you need a little focus group testing there before you
exactly.
can come out with a big.
Well, the thing is, the sex that I'm having.
Theories.
I know where you're going with it. The sex is good. The sex is good, and I know the sex is good, but I'm not coming, and I'm like, I think it's just because.
Wait. Let me just rewind real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just see what you just said just 10 seconds ago.
Yes.
Just as a one cohesive sentence, just as a tidbit.
Say it.
I know the sex is good, but I'm not coming.
But the thing is, usually, okay, so for example, the person I'm having sex with, I've only known them
I bet you're fine. But yeah, maybe just try it without drinking.
Exactly. And it's a comfort thing as well. Like I'm comfortable with this person, but I've only known them for as long as we've been having sex. Yeah. And I don't, I'm like getting to know them. And so, feeling my way into it and coming is really like a comfort. Like if I care about the person, then it's a comfort thing. If I don't give a shit about them, I will make sure I get there because I'm like, hey, I'm in this situation. I'm going to fucking come. Like, I'm going to make it happen. But if I'm, developing feelings for someone and trust, and there's going to be like times where we hang out again, I'm not just going to kind of exploit the situation. I'm also like getting to know myself with them and not kind of, I don't feel as comfortable to just push through, I don't know, to exploit the situation, even though it's not exploiting. Like I should just make myself come, but it's a different, like there's something more sensual and emotional and delicate in it, and it's I don't feel comfortable to just be like fuck it, like I'm just gonna even though I've been on drugs and drunk with this person, it's like I don't have the same comfort level. And I'm not uncomfortable. God, I sound like I'm really uncomfortable with this person. I'm not, but it's just like I care. Yeah. And I'm gonna test. I'm gonna not. So I've made a new rule because I feel like I'm going off the rails. with my last 3 teeth, and my empty bottles of whiskey and bedding, I'm only going to drink on the weekends now, even though it's only been like 2 weeks. But also like drugs and stuff. Just like Fridays and Saturdays after shows, I will have a couple, I'll have a bit of a party. But during the week, I want to go back to my like complete sobriety. Yeah. I'm just sick of even thinking of like, it's just so annoying to have this feeling of doubt that like you could have done more, or maybe like you would have had better orgasms or had an orgasm if I hadn't.
This is getting worse and worse. Like, I hope the guy doesn't listen to this.
I know.
Because like I imagine like it's already shitty. Like you're lying there and you're like just to ask like did you come or not. Like that's just I don't even think guys ever do that.
No, they do.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, but maybe I don't know. I've ever done it like later in a relationship, maybe like, but like this is bad. But just having the girl you're fucking like broadcasting that she's not coming, like I just realized how horrible that must be.
Well, the thing is, like, we actually had this big chat with his mates, like 2 nights ago. Started talking about all the erogenous, all the actual like points for orgasm on a woman, and he was just a bit like,
the ass, the titties.
Well, actually, so there's like different ones that I didn't know about. Apparently, have I already talked to you about this? Nipple orgasms, like nipples are one. Throat, apparently. I'm like, wow, I can attest to that.
Well, everywhere where there's a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah, exactly. Anal, clitoral, anaphoric, anaphorics. It's anaphorics. It sounds like a bad beer by me.
Yeah, anaphorics. It's when you make Anna come with a fork.
Wow. Well, okay, a rubber fork. We can do a rubber fork.
No, you can do the other end, of course.
Oh, true. But still, like the metal, I don't know. I've never been one for metal inside me. It's too, like, gyno. It's too...
Yeah.
It's too, like, medical experiments.
Yeah.
I'm not...
Like, I mean, we've all been 18 and at a Slipknot concert, but
I know,
we're not talking about that.
As long as, like, wood is what scares me. I just don't want internal splinters. That's what I don't want. But fuck, where was I going?
You're probably just constantly thinking about it because you're playing the drums and you have sticks around, right?
No, really, yeah, I do. But also like crucifixes, I always think like, why wouldn't you want to fuck yourself with a crucifix? The only reason why I wouldn't is because it's made of wood.
All right.
Otherwise, that's like a super hot thing to fuck yourself
with. Or metal.
Or metal. Crucifix.
You're kind of pretty specific about the material of the crucifix that you wouldn't fuck yourself with.
Well, crucifix...
Picky, I would say.
What's the fucking plural of crucifix? Like crucifies. Crucifixes. Crucifixes are always made of wood, dude. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't get a metal crucifix. Like, that's like
you do. Well, I'm
you mean like jewelry-wise?
Like, no. In Germany, like I was Russian Orthodox baptized in Russia. Mm-hmm. But when we came to Germany, we just said we are Protestants.
Oh, yeah.
And have you ever been to a German evangelical, like, Protestant church?
No.
They're basically like they're built by IKEA. So
nice.
Yeah.
Do they have sausages and meatballs?
This is on Sundays. No, but they're very like sterile, and they often have like very stylized crucifixes, and a lot of them are of like aluminium.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's interesting, but those ones are probably too big to fuck, right? I'm thinking like a
You
little...
can get a small one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'd consider fucking a metal crucifix. You're opening my world up to.
But that just literally means that you want religion inside of you. Like you understand the symbolism.
I want
of
to
that.
fuck religion. Like I don't want it inside me. I wanna.
But then you want to like peg Jesus. That's not putting crucifix inside of you.
I want the death of a savior to make me come. It's like sacrilegious. Like that's the it's that the Exorcist did it so well, like it's this wonderful, horrific image, a woman fucking, like a crazy woman, like a possessed woman fucking a crucifix. Like it's...
Yeah. Also, according to the Bible, Jesus died a virgin, so you're kind of really doing him a favor.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
Fucking Jesus, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeehaw! I think you tried to say Yahweh.
Yahweh. Yahweh. Exactly.
It's such a fun thing to scream during sex. Like.
Yahweh. Oh, Oh, screaming during sex. Like, I think, who does that anymore? Who scream? Like, there are too many neighbors. Like,
I tell you who does that. Women who come.
look, when I'm enjoying sex, I make noise too. And it's,
Yeah.
like, the thing is, I've been enjoying the sex. I enjoy the sex, but I can't. I'm like, even masturbating, I'm taking much longer than I usually would.
You're putting me in such a bad situation.
What?
You're putting me in such a bad situation. Like, it's so easy to make jokes here, but like, I just don't want to shit on your newly blossoming romance all the time.
Look, all right. So that's the thing. I'm gonna not drink the next time I see him, and I'm gonna make sure I come.
It's this healthy anyway. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, it's been a nice getting to know you stage.
Not depending on the coming or not. It's just good to see how you vibe with somebody if you don't drink.
Yeah. And like in the mornings when we hang out, like we went and had breakfast and we've done some things in the mornings together and it's nice. But my default is to not drink, at least for the last year and a bit. So I do want to, I want to keep drinking to special occasions and like, okay, getting to know you dates can be special occasions because it's just, it's a little bit more relaxed. But, now that we know each other a bit more, I can go back to my default confident, I don't drink vibe. And that way I can come. Yeah. And I've said it to him. I'm like, I think I'm not coming because of the alcohol. And he's like, yeah, okay. All right. But he's like, it's not like short sex sessions. Like, my legs are sore, like there's been a lot of effort on either side. Yeah.
I'm just holding so much back.
Yeah.
Because I don't know this person and I do like you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you meeting him. I am. Really...
Yeah, well, I already know too much.
You already know. Well, I haven't described any part of his body or, I've just talked about him being a good guy, a fun guy.
Yeah, he sounds cool.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
Apart from the last 20 minutes of things you said about him.
Apart from me not having come. But, yeah. It's good though. It's getting to the point.
Yeah,
where
I'm also projecting because you're always like you're saying that it's like your like your thing and but as a guy
my thing. What do you mean my thing?
That you don't come with him like, but as a guy you're always blaming
take responsibility.
Like the guy like or who is you usually in that conversation. It's just weird. Like this seems like this podcast you should have with him.
Yeah.
Just like a surrogate, just stopping myself so short of shitting all over it.
I don't hold him
because of my comedic effects, nothing personally, but it's a comedy podcast, right?
Right. I think the thing is though, I think men holding themselves responsible for a woman coming or not is not, like there's a lot of factors that come into it, right? And I know that like I'm saying the sex is good. The sex is really good and I'm enjoying myself. I'm just not coming. And I can feel the point where it's like, this would be when I could come, but there's something blocking me. And it's not like and I'm not feeling frustrated because I'm enjoying myself, but there's something there. And I don't, for example, if a guy doesn't, like, when there's bad chemistry with someone, like, when the sex is just not good because the chemistry's not good. And then that's why it's not working. It's not like, oh, he didn't come because I didn't make him come. It's also like a guy doesn't make a woman come. It's like a mutual effort thing, right? Like you both got to be in the right headspace and enjoying it.
A guy doesn't make a woman come. Money does. Diamonds are
maybe he's just too poor for me. Maybe he just needs to. Nah, man, he's been like buying me presents and stuff. He's super sweet. I really like this guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy I'm having sex with. I'm not saying his name on my podcast, but it's no, I'm joking. Yeah, you're gonna meet him. We're gonna go to Plötzensee. We're gonna swim. The summer. All right, coming. How long has it been since you've come with a woman?
How long have I been celibate?
Not celibate. You're masturbating, right?
Well, yeah, but that's really kind of. I don't know, I guess 7 months, 7 or 8 months.
7 or 8 months. Okay.
Yeah, which is like the longest stretch ever.
That's a long stretch, yeah.
But it's very deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yeah, the masturbating also really went down since well, I started like doing all like Wim Hof breathing and cold showers and shit.
Yep.
And like I realized that a lot of the times that I would masturbate would be like so I could sleep better.
Yep.
And that shit is just like way better also helping
The
sleep
breathing is
than-
better.
Yeah, because it just pulls you down. Whereas masturbating, you have to work yourself up first, and
Yeah.
then it pulls you down. But then you're already in such a big swing that it still takes like an hour or something.
Yeah, there's still a little come down
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
Depending on how tired you are already, but yeah.
Yeah,
So you do the breathing before you go to sleep?
I do it like right after waking up, and like at least one long session during the day and before I go to sleep. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. And okay, instead of masturbation, all right. Do you have a?
Yeah, usually I my whole other life I was just like we just jerk off in the morning, then one long session during the day, and once before I go to sleep.
Look, that's
I was-
pretty standard
I
for a
was
lot
like
of dudes.
Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not because I like it; it's just because I need the mind space. You know?
All right.
Shout out to your former employer, Mindspace.
Right, masturbate or breathe. I don't know. Do you have an image? Like, do you have a vision of how you wanna, like, where you're going to, with this kind of current deliberate celibacy? Like, how you wanna exit it?
Well, I'm just working through a lot of stuff, right? So and like that just changes a lot about how I see myself, and especially it changes a lot how I feel.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I've been basically like I feel like emotionally I've been pretty much like an ice block my whole life, and I just started melting like 3 months ago maybe.
Oh, such a nice analogy.
Yeah. Now I like last time I talked about how like for years I just couldn't cry.
Yeah.
Like now I'm at the point where I pretty much cry every other day. Like, or basically at least once a day if I hear like a song that I really like sometimes I just walk in public and I have to hold it back all of a sudden.
That's really healthy.
It's really good. Like, yeah, I'm doing pretty well in that department right now. But that also like really changes how I see like intimacy and sexuality. Like like the shit that I did. Like let's say in the past years, you know, like where I don't know, where you like seeing multiple people.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure you can. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure, at least for me, that I could only do that because I was like emotionally numb.
Yep.
Like I don't think I maybe I could kind of I don't know, be in love with 2 people at the same time or something. But the way that I did it back then, it was just like, no, this is not emotional. This is just like a physical want for something that I don't even like understand on an emotional level. So
Yeah. I think.
I don't see a way out yet, but I really enjoy the process, let's say, and I think it feels like I'm making good progress, but yeah, I'm not rushing. I'm not like imagining a relationship or whatever at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's
I
it.
just discovered yoga like within the last week, like really for myself, and I'm like right now I'm just like really like fucked by that. Like it's
That's
amazing
nice.
how much I love yoga right now.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So you found like a 20-minute routine that you can really like. Do you have to watch something to do it, or do you now know how to do it? And
I have one that I know now, but there's so much on the internet. Cause like usually when I did yoga like early, it was way too soft on me. Cause like you know I like up until 2 years ago I had like a physical job. Like I was just like you know like unloading trucks every day and like building rigs and shit. So it was like way too easy. And now it's the first time that I like have found yoga where it actually like it almost feels like you're, you know, what's the thing in English on the bike where you put it and then you have lights, Dynamo in German.
Dynamo, like I don't know what you call that, like the thing that triggers the electricity from the wheel.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the analogy is here. Like you're like so.
Yeah, you put it on the wheel and then your lights go on. Doing yoga to me feels like being that thing. Like, you know, you do that and every part of you all of a sudden kind of like
Opens up,
lights up.
lights up.
Like,
Yeah, that's great.
And this morning I did yoga and then went for a swim. So right now I'm like literally like illuminating from the inside.
Oh, that's so
like
beautiful.
I haven't swam in 2 years at least. Also, I realized.
Oh shit, yeah.
Maybe 3.
Shit, yeah. Actually, with I can't remember the
And we
last
live
time I
10
swam.
minutes from a lake. It's like 10 minutes by foot from a lake.
I think
So
tomorrow that's
insane.
what I'm doing. Yeah. Well, that's the way that I stopped alcohol and drugs and smoking and everything was by exercising and meditating every morning. And that's like, that just sets you up. Like you've already done everything. Like you've already done a serious amount of sort of self-love and care. And you just feel, you feel great. And why would you then compromise it? But okay, yeah, getting out of celibacy and I don't think you can. I don't think you can imagine imagining the relationship you want is. I think it's really tricky because like if you meet someone, I think having too much of an idea of what you want is like having an idea of what you want is important, but like how you want it is going to change, like how it should work and how it can develop is something different.
I literally right now, like I think I've gained so much access to like just feelings and emotions that I didn't used to have that I wouldn't know how I would react to like falling in love with somebody.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which is like up until now in my life, I feel like of course it's like it's a person you like, and then like the simple chemistry like works on like on the pheromonal level. But I'm 100% sure that sometimes that doesn't line up with like your emotional body, let's say. Like because I see that in my past that some of those definitely didn't line up on that level. But back then, like I just didn't feel that level. You know?
Yeah.
So now that I do, I can't imagine how that works, what would happen, or I'm like a new
being.
Yeah,
Like a little baby, a little fetus. Oh, that's exciting. It's really exciting. Yeah, and that topic of like seeing multiple people, like I don't know if it's an age thing, like a maturity thing, self-knowledge thing, but I cannot imagine doing that again. Like it doesn't. Yeah, having intimate dynamics with multiple people. Like it's not like okay, like non-monogamy is cool, but it's just like I've got other projects I want to work on. Like I don't want to just be working on people all the time, you know? I think monogamy really in my head now boils down to good time management. Like I don't have maintaining an intimate relationship with a sexually intimate relationship with someone takes time to do it well, like to really care for it. And to do that with multiple people, it's like, okay, if you don't have any creative projects, that could be it. But like if you've got stuff that you're doing and you care about, then I don't know how you'd have time to do that.
Yeah.
And look after it really well. I can't.
I mean, you make space.
Do you though? Like to really care for multiple people? I think
I had like multiple jobs and multiple partners for a while.
Yeah, me too.
And also like a huge drug dependency at that time, you know.
Exactly, and that's the thing of the numbness. It's like you can do that when you're just sort of like running from thing to thing and not really like reflecting on how you're feeling about it. Like I think a big part of the reason also why I wanted to stop drinking and taking drugs is because I wanted to really like a lot of the relationships I'd end up in, it's 6 weeks, right? It takes 6 weeks for me to realize that someone's a terrible idea. Sometimes it's been a bit faster, but I was like, you know what? Like these people were terrible ideas. Like why did I give it 6 weeks and why did I get... And it was like
I gave it up to a year sometimes.
Yeah, no, but absolutely. Like my marriage, for example, the guy before that, and yes, I was young, right? Yes, I was young. I needed to go through those things to realize those things aren't good. But I wonder if I hadn't had, and it's not worth the. I don't really dwell on it, but I wonder if I'd had the clarity of mind and heart and spirit without alcohol or weed. If I'd really like just, sat with my feelings around things, if I'd been able to actually see them for what they were and see how damaging and maybe stand up for myself a bit more or just leave earlier. Yeah. And so
Like I remember, like I think I told you in private, like maybe not on the podcast, but I had this one instance where I was dating this girl for like almost a year, and within the last month of us being together, like she broke up with me 11 or 12 times.
Yeah.
And like in hindsight, I'm like, dude, like after the 6th time, you should have gone. Come on,
Right?
something's wrong here. You know? But 11
times, dude. That's like me with my French ex.
and this sex was great. Like I did,
Yeah.
I did come no matter how drunk I was.
Yeah, dude. No. I'm looking forward to getting to that point with new boy. Like it will get there if we continue seeing each other. Hopefully, let's see. But yeah, with my long-term boyfriend in Berlin, the French guy.
This is the sound you're hearing is the guy you're seeing flying on a helicopter to stop this podcast.
So you're not coming, bitch. Fucking
Just bomb through the window.
keep that private. Yeah, with French ex, he and I stayed together for far too long. I broke up with him like 4 times, like ended it like 4 times in the first year, and then when we got back together, the last sort of like we were together for 2 and a bit years, I guess. And the last, broke up with him like 4 times in the first year, and then we got back together properly. And then when it was all falling apart, it was like the longest drawn out breakup thing ever. And yeah, it's when you've got connection to someone. I guess when you both have the same, it's that thing where you seek a partner who somehow manifests the dynamic of your parents or whatever. Like there's something that draws you in, something that hooks you in, and but like. He should have, like, he's told me recently he's just stopped smoking weed, or he's trying to stop smoking weed, and I was like, yeah, cool, about time. He was like, yeah, it made me so flexible, and I was like, yeah, that flexibility is what I call unreliability, which is why I stopped trusting you and I couldn't love you anymore. And he if he had not been stoned all the time, maybe he would have been like, oh yeah, this is not like. Maybe after the 4th time I broke up with him.
By the way, this is genius calling like being high all the time flexible.
Right.
It's like I just started thinking about it, my brain exploded. It's like yeah, I'm so flexible, man. I can just like eat like ice cream for a week. Like that's almost
I'm
like
so flexible.
I literally like I could not go to work.
Yeah.
And just like watch all of the Price is Right, like from the 60s, like, and then talk about it at parties until I'm 80. Like, that's
exactly
how flexible I am.
And I could just like see all the friends that I want, but like, cancel plans last minute with my girlfriend, like every night.
To cheat on her with, who knows, a man, because I'm so flexible,
because I'm so
flexible.
flexible.
I'm like water, dude.
Fuck, man.
Speaking of which, very dry mouth. Does anybody have any water? My flexibility.
I'm flexible. Like I could take apple juice, beer, whiskey, cum. I'll take cum. Oh my
flexible.
God, dude. Yeah, when he was saying this to me,
that's a bit fucking. That's a bit if I ever heard one.
Right? And being like, yeah, and I just realized like I've been too flexible. It's like, dude, like you were the most unreliable boyfriend ever. Like I felt so disrespected and so unloved by how you would be flexible for everybody else, but not for me. You just totally took me for granted. And then he had the nerve to turn around and be like, oh, Anna, when I told you that the other day and you said about time that I had stopped smoking weed, I was like, you made me feel like I've wasted years of my life. I'm like, you made you feel like you wasted years of your life. This is not my responsibility that you realize how bad weed has been or has made you or how unreliable you've been.
Yeah, that's a harsh emotion. It's not very flexible of him.
Not very flexible. I would say inflexible. I would say crusted up, hard piece of shit. No, I don't have anger still. No, it's all right. It's funny. He's like got a girlfriend and he's like calling me to tell me about his problems. It's like, dude, stop being so flexible. All right, I'm going to stop shitting on my ex now. Right now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to work on my ability to come without alcohol again. And is it another week of sun? Have we got another week of like ridiculous weather? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah? it's just like there's a lot of pressure.
Said how far the topics of the podcast fell off.
We went to weather.
We went to weather. God damn.
Sorry, dude. Oh my God, today's 27 degrees and today's the day I've chosen to go to a rehearsal studio for 4 hours. Classic.
Yeah, it's the beginning of June. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
Summer, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be all 24, 25 all week. It's just, I bring it up because the FOMO has returned so hard. Like it like from last week, it was every day after work. I was like, well, it's sunny and I'm in Kreuzberg. I should do something. Who can I meet up with? Yeah. What's happening now? Is there a show I'm missing out on? Where's the party?
Yeah, I had like starts of that. And here's my experience with FOMO so far. Like, somebody posted there's a rave at Tempelhofer Feld, and I'm like, oh, damn, nice. I'm going to go to a rave at Tempelhofer Feld. I go all the way to Tempelhofer Feld, I get there, and after 2 minutes, I'm like, I fucking hate raves. Like, I just remembered that I never liked raves ever in my life once. So I was like I was there for like half an hour and then just went home. And yesterday, like I have a project now that I'm like super in love with and that I work on, and like I just went on Instagram for a minute and saw that one of my favorite bands opened for another one of my favorite bands, like somewhere in Berlin for free. And
already it happened.
They posted it on Instagram, and it was like 3 minutes ago of the second band going on. Oh, what? Like. And I kind of started researching where it is because I didn't post the location.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out, and in that moment, I watched that video again, and it's like 600 people there on like a small square, and the sound is shitty because it's not an official stage and shit. And I'm like, until I get there, it's like the last 20 minutes, and I already missed the first band, which would have been my favorite. So like, and it's just completely dissipated. It was like 2 minutes of FOMO. Like I think the rave and the going out there like really killed it for me this year. So I hope that it remains like this.
Yeah, I think like, but those 2 minutes of FOMO are chilling, man. Like my whole like. That like
it triggers something.
It's something deep though. Like, yes, it's only 2 minutes before we, get the logic happening and go, oh, actually, I'm doing this and this is my direction, or it would have been a shit gig and I wouldn't have, blah blah blah, or I would have got corona, whatever. But it's still...
Sorry, I can't come to your show. I hope you all get corona.
I hope you all get corona. I hope that's 600 people. That's against the rules. But there's...
even if it's 5, I still hope all 5 get corona.
All 500. But there's this thing that we haven't felt. And like, I feel like FOMO really wasn't around. And now it's really back. And I think that's why we all need to keep meditating.
Yeah.
Keep doing yoga. It sounded like yogurt. Yoga. It's gonna be an intense summer. Like I'm already like, how do I keep up? And I think, yeah, man, it's boring, I know, but just no alcohol. That's how I keep up. How else can you be on track if you're not blurry, right? That's my vibe right now. All right, I think we'll wrap it up because it's a beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck yeah.
I had a thing I wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to it, which is better, right?
Like, well, what was it? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. We already have an hour?
We've got 57 minutes.
All right. No, it's like a bigger topic. We'll talk about it another time.
Okay, let's talk about another time.
It's probably not the last time I'm going to be on
It's
this
probably
podcast.
not. I do have a guest. He cancelled on me without telling me on Friday, which was cool, but he's coming around tomorrow. So we will have...
By the way, that's not cool.
It's not cool to do that.
Let me just say that for Anna. It's not cool to cancel on a podcast without telling somebody.
Yeah.
You are not Tim Dillon.
Right.
Even he sort of apologizes sometimes.
Yeah. I was like, okay, but he's going to come around on Monday. He's also a very flexible man, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Weed is his middle name. So, But that's cool. It's going to be nice to have him around. But super good having you on the podcast again, Alex.
Yeah, I love it. It's the shortest way to a podcast I ever had.
It's so convenient.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm excited about the topic for next time. Do you like a sneak preview of what it is? Like what is the topic that you want to do?
Nah, it's like a bigger.
It's big. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, that's been Adult Only Comedy Berlin. The live shows are coming really soon. Check out everything propaganda comedy. Harry Bitches is going to be doing its first live show on Monday, the 14th of June, doing a window show. So performing to the streets for 48 hours, no cone, on Saturday the 19th of June, Glory Hole Comedy. So performing to the street, but we're Facebook live streaming it. And then Grindhouse Comedy is returning at the Wall in Friedrichshain on the 21st, Sunday early show at 6 p.m. So check out all the shows. Check out Fickt euch alle if you speak German. And have a fucking great Sunday. Bye.
Goodbye, wedding.
Goodbye, wedding.